Hello, I'm Carmen Lyons, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the process and the story behind my drawing. When I first read the criteria, I wrote a huge list of possible plants under the different themes, and then focused on what interests me out of these themes and what plants I'd possibly like to research and draw. I've always loved history, so I decided to focus on that and look into plants that have been in the UK for a long time. Finding these plants wasn't too hard, but I did also want to find something with a story behind it to elevate the plant's importance, which led me to this particular broad bean. These first images are the seeds to the stages of growth of the plant. I bought the beans from Chiltern Seeds and I grew them in my mum's allotment garden, so I could closely watch them grow, documenting and drawing each stage, and be able to match the colours perfectly. I also transferred 2 maturing plants to pots so I could take them home and comfortably draw them at the stages of life that I wanted to depict. While these are showing, I'm going to quickly tell you the story of this plant. Broad beans or fava beans have been in the UK for centuries, but I found this story about this particular heritage broad bean that could have been lost to history if it wasn't for one woman. First mentioned in 1778, there was a report on the bean by the London Horticultural Society in 1831, which wasn't completely favourable, saying it was only really fit for ornament due to its short pods with few beans, amongst other things. And like many other plants, it dropped out of use and was thought to have gone extinct. However, 200 years later, when Rhoda Catbush lost her crop, which she and her father before her had always grown, with only a few seeds remaining, she donated these to the Henry Doubleday Foundation for the Heritage Seed Library, thus saving it for future generations. I love this story because it shows how a simple act and just a single human being can save a beautiful plant that would have been lost forever. Also, the beans are delicious, and that would have been a travesty in itself if they had been lost. Here you can see my preparatory sketches. I had prepared a lot more than I needed for my final piece. For example, drawing each stage of growth of the flower evolving into the fully grown bean. But my idea for the final composition didn't need quite this much. Maybe I'll do another drawing in the future as a companion piece with the evolution of the bean. Here are a few ideas I had for compositions. I did 2 pieces to submit to this exhibition. One, I wanted to be a more traditional scientific illustration. And for this piece, I wanted to create something that's slightly more contemporary and not necessarily in my usual compositional style, but still wanting to show different aspects of the plant and stages of growth. These are my colour matching sketches, which remind me what colour pencils I've used and in what order. This is where I initially figure out how I'm going to layer the pencils to achieve the correct colours and tones. These images are as I work down my drawing with my colour matching sketches to the side for me to refer to. I wanted to show you here my process of drawing the single cut broad bean, how I put my layers down from dark to light. And here's the last few photos of my drawing coming together. I've worked from top right to bottom and then top left to bottom as I'm left-handed, and I don't want to lean on the work I've put down and risk smudging it. And here is my finished piece, which I was delighted to have selected to publicise the UK Birmingham exhibition, Excluding Scotland. Thank you for listening to the story of my piece of work.